and he goes into a lot of pop stuff. Basically, I'm aware of pop music because of Todd in the Shadows. But other than that, I don't have as much music stuff as I'd like. I need to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else is
What?
a yeah?
What is he?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to PixelLit. Speaking of dumb, these are just getting dumber as I do.
That was just that. You said it, not me.
Welcome to the Offspring fan cast.
Yeah. Welcome to We're Pretty Fly for
a pod guy.
For our pod guy.
That's it. Good night.
You know, we put in a good 18 months of this shit. Think we did everything that we could.
Let's wrap it up.
Not even that. 14 months at this point.
14 months in, and I think we hit rock bottom right then.
We did it. We hit the bottom. We hit the top. I think we did
hit
what
the
we
bottom.
could.
We got through. We got through the crust and into the
dumosphere. Yeah.
The dumb. Yeah. No, we're talking. Infinity Blade 2 because we did Infinity Blade 1 last week, so it would only stand to reason that we would follow it up with number 2. So, Phil, can you give us a little recap of what the hell happened in Infinity Blade Part 1?
You mean aside from Brandon Sanderson, really just overriding the fuck out of this?
Yeah, aside from that,
Fruit Ninja Advanced game.
Yeah, aside from Brandon Sanderson, world building the deepest lore ever for Fruit Ninja Knights and Wizards Edition.
Right. Pretty much. So, in the first part of Infinity Blade Awakening, we find a small town. This little town full of people. They are dealing with what they believe is the new leadership, basically, out with the old, in with the new. This really greedy dude who used to be a tax collector, who claims that he has been chosen and smiled upon by the what do they call him? The
God King.
The God King. That's right. And he starts basically bullying his way into a position of power. When the people start pushing back a little bit, he gets ready to start laying the smack down. But our young hero comes in and basically tells him to kick sand. Get the fuck out of here. You are not welcome here. We find out that he has defeated the God King. Basically, we are in the end. We are after the end of beating the game. So for all intents and purposes, this is a bit of a sequel. He has returned. No one expected him to win. He's been raised since birth to be a sacrifice, essentially, just as everyone in his family, generation after generation, have been raised to go and fight the God King. Only he's the only one who ever came back. And he basically gets told by the town. Yeah, he wins. He doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. He does decide that he's going to start keeping a list of things that he likes, which, good call, kid. All he literally has ever been done, all he's ever done is trained. He's think about an Olympian, but times 10 and with a whole lot more murder. Not all the murder, but more.
More murder than your typical Olympian.
More than average for an Olympian.
Yeah.
And he's just thinking he wants to eat pie, and there are vague thoughts of a girlfriend and all that shit you hope a kid would do after Johnny comes marching home again, that kind of thing. And but the townspeople, basically the powers that be, tell him you got to get the hell out of here. Because they believe that these figures, the undying figures that are also
deathless.
The deathless. I keep calling them the undying. the
Yeah.
deathless.
The Undying is another distinct intellectual property.
Yes, Clive Barker is involved in that one, I believe. But yeah, he thinks that they think that they're going to come for the Infinity Blade, so they're going to come and wreck the town. So he's basically been forced to leave. He says goodbye to his mother, who makes him a peach cobbler. Writes in his note to self, love, 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 peach cobbler. The main character in Infinity Blade is Southern. It's canon.
He's
So,
Southern. Yeah. He eats grits and peach cobbler, and
and he heads out, and he decides he's going to go back to the place that he fought the God King, so they can't trace him back to the village. He wants to keep them safe and everything. Long story short, he ends up making his way back into that area. He finds like all kinds of technology. He gets a little, like, he meets a 40-year-old troll. He gets his life threatened by a bandit in there, and he's just getting all the way back into trouble and realizing he did not, in fact, fully kill the God King. So he decides, I've got to actually, I might actually have to go ahead and do that. So he is getting back on that wagon, so to speak. Long story short. And when we last left off, he had basically decided he was going to tie up his who's the companion, the thiefy companion,
Issa.
Yeah,
Issa,
Issa, who is she's basically a bandit, a thief. She has betrayed him on several occasions, and he wants her help, but he doesn't at the same time. In any case, if she's going to keep coming along with him, he basically has to tie her up. Sexy. Every time he's gonna, throw up camp or something like that. He does not trust her, and so we are in the thick of it. We also get a glimpse into the God King, and basically how this is clearly a world that is in the distant future, at very least. That we talked about in the last episode, kind of that Asimov style quote of, anything that we can't understand technologically is indistinguishable to magic. That's what we're dealing with a lot of.
We got machines and robots and all that
right.
stuff.
You've got a quote unquote magic mirror, and it's a monitor. That sort of thing. And
cameras.
So, and so the God King has awakened again, and our hero has given him a bit of a fright, because it's the closest he's ever come to actually dying, as opposed to just, dying long enough for his resurrection chamber to bring him back and for the whole cycle to start all over again. Right. So that's where we are. Thrills, chills, spills, betrayal, and a guy who keeps dying and coming back from the dead. It is a modern day Easter story, really.
Yeah. He's Jesus.
He's Jesus. That's the theme. That's what the infinite in Infinity Blade is about.
That's the infinite. He is the Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah. We got news for you people. Good news. It's that if you got a cool sword, you don't have to die. That's the good news.
That's the good news.
Yeah.
So it's chapter 5, and things are hella awkward between Cyrus and Issa now, to say the least. And they're walking along, and they realize that they need to change course, because the knights are out looking for him. There's people out looking for him. They've realized that shit has hit the fan. People are aware that the sacrifice did not sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
So,
which is it's right there in his name.
It's right there in his name. It's the thing he's supposed to do. It's the one thing that he's supposed to do.
Dude.
One thing, dude. So they change the course, and during their little trip around through the other side of the island, Cyrus begins trying out things that he would like to do, and he starts doing a rope swing, and Issa calls him a child.
Right.
And
And he kind of is, though. I mean,
he kind of is, basically,
how
yeah.
old do you figure he is at this point? He can't be that old. Like, I
I
figured
mean,
he's 17, 18 years old.
He's like 20-ish,
Yeah.
19, 20, I assume. I think the number 20 is thrown around somewhere else.
Okay.
And one of the moments, Cyrus notices there's like lands just on the other side of the hill that Drem's Maw is in that is like perfect for farming and like having a self-sustaining like town or village. And he's like, oh, like the people of Drem's Maw, like all they know is this horrible cave life where they mine stalactites, but they could be living out in the sun. And he's like, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Surely this won't come back. We won't revisit that idea, I'm sure.
We won't come. Yeah. Issa then mentions that they get into a discussion about how the concept of honor is a method that the rich and powerful use to keep the poor down. And I was like, that's an interesting thought.
It's a very interesting thought.
He's like, I mean, the duels, like the one-on-one duel is it's like bullshit. Like if you guys just rose up, they couldn't stop you.
Here's the thing, Kevin. I feel like we're being too, I think we're reading too much into this because I have been informed several times by very learned men on the internet that fantasy is meant to be just that it isn't meant to draw any metaphors from real life or anything like that. So I feel like we might be going in too hard on this one.
Yeah, I think this might be, we might be reading into politics that aren't actually there. I think that's our bad, everybody. It's
Sorry,
not there.
guys. Sorry.
The character is not actually saying anything of substance in terms of political policy and
observe as I thoughtfully stroke my chin.
Yeah. So
good book.
Just strike that from the record. Issa says it, but doesn't.
It's out.
She says it, but she doesn't mean it. Honor. She's just joking, guys. Honor is totally cool. You know what else is cool? The status quo.
Yeah. You know what else is cool? Being rich. That's
being rich.
Cool.
The status quo. Keep it. Keep that status quo.
Keep it going, baby.
Keep it going, baby. Things can only get better.
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill. By the way, and this is coming out months after it happened or a month after it happened, but the video of Dick Cheney calling
oh my God.
Donald Trump the worst thing to ever happen to democracy is, whew, boy. I mean, what? That the irony is annihilating.
I feel like, you every now and then especially when you're younger and you read these kind of weird epic fantasies like Lord of the Rings and shit, you go, maybe one day I'll live to see a huge war between good and evil. I didn't know I was going to live to see a point where there would be a war between demons and more demons.
It's basically Diablo.
This is exactly. It's a war of hell. Asmodeus and Belial and like the whole fucking canon is here.
Belial is calling Asmodeus the worst thing to ever happen to hell.
What is life?
So, yeah, they basically, and then Cyrus says he thinks the only thing he points out that the deathless cannot be gods because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to beat the god, and he thinks their only power is knowledge, which is like dun dun dun. He's getting on the same.
It's onto something.
He's onto something, and then they hear somebody screaming because. A few moments earlier, Issa had been like, "Hey, that's a perfect ambush spot," and
yeah. Oh, look, a threat.
And somebody got ambushed at that ambush spot that she pointed out. And so in chapter 6, Cyrus runs into the confrontation, even though Issa's like, "You probably shouldn't." Uh,
Yeah, I love that she literally tells him, like, hey, you probably shouldn't just run right into this whole thing. We want to keep you nice and alive to fight the God King. And he goes, bye! And just Leroy Jenkins the
Leroy
fuck out of the whole
Jenkins is
situation.
right into it.
Right into it.
Leroy. Oh, so for you kids at home, Leroy Jenkins was.
Everybody remember WoW? How about that?
Remember WoW? Yeah, some people are still playing it.
People are still playing that fucking game. Jesus.
Yeah, fucking Krendor and is still making as a YouTube channel dedicated to it still.
Good Lord. I mean, look, every now and then I get the urge. I used to play that game a lot, and I just, oh man, I can't invest in that.
They added Krendor as an NPC.
Oh
by
my
the way.
God. That's amazing. Sorry, I'm just having like my nerdy favorite, Twitch streamer flashbacks back when I actually watched that shit.
So for the kids at home, Krendor is an old WoW streamer. And he is known for being good friends with Jesse Cox, and they have podcasts together.
Yeah. Oh my God, that really does need to be explained. Son of a bitch.
I need to pause and explain about the 40-year-old streamers that are in existence.
It's already weird enough that we're a part of a demographic, an age demographic, where we have to explain certain things about cartridge games or analog games and shit like that. But that we're old enough well, actually, it's not that we're old enough. It's that the audience is potentially young enough that we even have to go, well, back in the day, there was a Twitch streamer that you've never heard of because you're too young, and oops, I hanged myself.
Yeah.
That happened.
That happened. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a whole separate thing. That's a whole thing. The streamers from our era, they're still around. It's just
they're still around. They're still doing their thing.
They're still doing their thing. Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, Cyrus runs in like Leroy Jenkins. That's how we got there. Leroy Jenkins. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins is right into a pack of Dayrils. And he ends up it's a pack for Dayrils. Issa ends up having to save him, and then from the last one, she drowns one of them. Like, Jesus Christ, yeah. Issa.
What the fuck? Okay. There will be drownings. Okay, got it.
There will be drownings. And then another pack of 7 Dayrils attack. And they fight back to back for a while. And meanwhile, Cyrus is having dark thoughts from the sword. He believes they're from the sword anyway. And he's remembering all these ways to like fight against groups that aren't the Aegis forms, the one-on-one dual combat battles. And Issa gets stabbed in the stomach by one of the Dayrils after as he's killing them off. She falls. And so she's dying in the water,
right?
And basically the golem, the thing that they saved was a golem. It was basically that has basically been following them this entire time, and he's like, "Do something," and the golem's like, "Do I have to?"
Yeah. I don't feel like that's necessary. Should I?
Should I? So the golem does happen to know surgery, and basically stitches up Issa's innards and gets them back inside of her, and then sews her up nicely. And she'll make it. She'll be fine. But yeah, it's this golem named Tel, Tel.
Yeah, cool name, by the way. I liked that.
Yeah. It works for one of the Deathless, and it is able to shapeshift based on the material around it. So when they first find it, it has like it's using bamboo as its like constructed form, and then it switches over to like a rock form, and and is able to pick Issa up and carry her while they like move out of the area.
All right.
Yeah. So Tal keeps asking. Cyrus keeps asking Tal, like, what's going on? Just break it down. And Tal's like, I can't tell you, man. And finally, he asks what a QIP is, and the way it's explained is that a QIP is a familial soul, or it's like a soul or something, but it could sometimes be possessed by multiple people or something like that. It's like a familial soul thing. Then QIP is just what they call it. It stands, I forget what it stands for, quantum something particles or something like that.
Yeah, it gets really like fantastic science-y again.
Fantastic. It dips into sci-fi real hard. It's like it's like the meter goes from like hard fantasy to hard sci-fi, like in the blink of an eye. It's like actually the meter is broken. It doesn't go it goes. It's like the needle goes down the other way. You don't even notice it. It's like a horseshoe theory, but for sci-fi.
Just splits.
So.
Oh my god! My cat's threatening me.
Is that Jonesy or who is
Hold
that?
on, I'm gonna get. Let me see if Jonesy wants to come inside.
Meow.
What? You want it? Yeah. He wants it in. Come on. Jeez, dude.
He's very upset.
He just, I think it's just that the door's closed, and, you know, ever since we moved, the door's rarely closed, and he doesn't really care for it when we do it on occasion anymore. He is, you know, we got him right when COVID started in, and we were both working from home, and so he is such a needy monster that we actually had to put him on kitty Prozac when we both started working out of the house again because he lost his mind because he thought we were abandoning him or something. And do you know what kitty Prozac is?
Prozac.
It's Prozac. Yeah, it's just like it's like a 2 milligram dose of it instead of like
not
20
a euphemism.
or 30.
It's not a euphemism. It's just a low dose Prozac.
Right. There's one animal in this entire house that doesn't need Prozac, and it's the other cat. That's all. That's it. That's everybody else. Yeah.
Hi, cat. Hi, Jonesy. Jonesy's like, no, you don't. It's just walking back and forth. Yeah.
He wants me to know he's here. He probably wants to be let out into the garage. He likes hanging out in the garage. Sorry. The cat was threatening me. We can proceed.
The cat was threatening him, everybody. Yeah. So that's
you heard it here first. I'm under threat of a cat.
He's under threat by a red-headed cat.
It's true. He's a dangerous animal.
So Cyrus is putting together from his conversations with Tell that he is descended from Deathless. Yes. And Issa wakes up from her brief unconsciousness, her comatose state, and they come to an understanding that Issa won't try to kill him anymore, and trust has been restored. Dun, 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 dun.
Sure. For some reason.
For some reason, he trusts her again.
Yeah,
sure.
They fought back to back. I suppose that makes some sense.
Yeah. They went into the back to back stance. I think once you do that,
that is actually how Kevin and I became so close in grad school. Yeah. We did the back to back fight against a bunch of Dayrils, and So I shouldn't make fun of them. I understand.
Yeah, in Savannah, it's actually swamp zombies that appear.
For the last time, Kevin, those were tourists.
Those tourists. They were just on a ghost tour.
They just look like swamp zombies.
Yeah, I apologize to all the people on ghost tours that I killed in Savannah from 2007 to 2010.
It's why we ended up leaving. We're not welcome back to the city. Nobody will take our money. We are banished.
We are banished from Savannah. The entire town just goes aggro once you get within city limits. You can't reset that.
Yeah, you can't. Full 5 stars. Right
Full
off the
5
bat,
stars.
it's over.
Military gets called in.
Right.
Got to lay low in the paper factory for a bit.
Yeah, you need to distract them with a few explosions and then just hightail it to Tybee Island and hope for the best.
Yeah. Chapter 7, they decide Issa and Cyrus have been camped out for a few days. They just chill, you know. They're just, you know, hanging out. Issa is teaching them how to cook.
I loved this part. It was such a nice moment. Like, 'cause all of his joys outside of the occasional rope swing seem to be centered around food. The few things that he's allowed to have now that he's most excited for food, and so she's helping him to appreciate it better and create it. It was a really lovely moment. I liked it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like they're bonding. And then Tell comes back to the camp, and Tell's been spying on the Deathless's palace and says that there's 4 champions that he would need to fight on the way into the castle. And then Tell turns into a little plant kitty.
Right. It's so weird. Tell's whole thing is strange, for the record.
Thing. Not really. I don't get it. I can't even picture it really in my head that well.
Yeah.
Because at this point, he was a cloth golem. He was just he was basically, I just imagined that he was a Jawa.
Yeah.
And then speaking of, hello, Jonesy. And then he drops the cloth aesthetic and becomes a cat. A cat made out of plants.
That was about the most like anime kind of thing they could have thrown into it. It was just like immediately I was like, oh, that's the angle we're going with. Got it. Okay. I feel like I'm following you better now. They should have included a cat plant like way sooner, or plant cat. I forget.
Yeah. Cyrus realizes that since he killed an ancestor of his after killing the God King, the Infinity Blade might actually be active, and it might be good to go. And did you listen to it? How did they pronounce the next Deathless's name? Was it Sadie?
Oh, say it again.
Was it Sadie?
Yeah, I think it was Sadie, as I recall. Yeah.
Okay, Sadie. So they're approaching Sadie's castle, and Cyrus is like, "Oh shoot, Tell, I forgot my cloak. Can you go get it?" And Tell's like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, he's got that kind of vibe. Absolutely.
Oh geez.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay. They're gonna kick dirt in my face.
Right.
And they're gonna.
It's like kissing a raisin.
They're gonna call me Rubberneck and Livenneck. So that was my impression of what was those guys that did the prank phone calls?
The Jerky Boys.
The Jerky Boys, yes.
That one, that's an even deeper, older cut.
That is a deeper cut. And I don't recommend anybody go back and listen to them because I have not confirmed how any of these things hold up. I can assure you they do not. It is just a vague memory in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I do not take responsibility for any of the bad aging that might have happened to their content.
I do not take responsibility for any of the bad parts of the 90s that you'll have to listen to.
In the 30 years that since I have listened to 30 years. 1992 was 30 years ago, Phil.
Yeah, it was. I was 10.
I was 8.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that happened. Oh, God.
So, forging on through the ennui that is settling in my soul.
Yeah, we're like just the rest of it. We just start smoking cigarettes and talking about the inevitable void at the end of the tunnel.
So you know when you die, there's nothing there.
Just nothing. It's just nothing. It's blackness,
and that nothingness really stares back at you. It's
true. It's the only TV show to watch, my friend.
It's the only thing that's left.
No commercials.
No commercials. The void TV all the time.
Every
time.
TV.
That's what you're going to be watching at the end of days, my pal.
End of days, my friend. It's just blackness.
So they approach Sadie's castle.
Yeah. I need a good book.
There's no books in the void.
None.
Only Discovery Plus.
No!
No!
Don't mix the vegetables with the gravy.
Don't mix the vegetables with the gravy.
My
God. Yes. So, Cyrus does that just to get Tell off his back, and then Tell's like, promise me you won't go and do anything while I'm gone, and Cyrus is like, I promise. Yeah. And then Cyrus goes in, and it's wild how quickly he fights through all the champions. It's like, he gets ready. It's like he gets ready to kill the first one, and then it like jumps to him killing the last one.
Right. Because Brandon Sanderson was like, oh, right, I wanted this to be a novella and not like an actual novel.
Yeah, this is a short story. This is a novella. We should keep it tight. So he fast forwards right through all of that, and we get to the final champion, who's just basically the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Right.
and Cyrus kills him. He worked through these dudes like a hot knife through butter.
Yep.
And then he gets Sadie to tell him where the worker of secrets, is it the worker of secrets? Yes, the worker of secrets is kept. And Sadie's like, oh yeah, you go down the road, it's over there, and there's this prison. And then Sadie realizes that he's holding the Infinity Blade, and she's like, oh fuck, but forget all that because I'm going to kill you right now. And she attacks him, and she nearly gets the better of him. She nearly ends him, and he has to.
It's the only full fight we get,
Yeah, totally. It's the only full fight we get in the book. It's the boss fight for the book.
Right, exactly. It is. It's the book's boss fight. That's exactly what it is.
He has to use his healing ring to heal himself. Mm-hmm. And he manages to kill Sadie with the Infinity Blade. So that's a permadeath for this Deathless. Sadie's down. She's not getting back up. And in true male gaze fashion, he notes that she was pretty.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
she lays there as her body lays there dead. She was kind of pretty, and I'm like,
cool.
This is not information that we actually need at this point.
Cool. She's dead. Yeah. Now
she's dead.
Right.
The shame is.
And now did we go over the whole thing with the ring and why our thief friend wasn't able to use it and stuff like that? Or
so he's thinking. So to back up a little bit, Cyrus believes that his lineage is that he is descended from the Deathless, and that's why the ring works.
Right.
And it only works for people who are like even partially related to the Deathless. That's the going theory at this point.
Yeah. And he kind of picks up on that. He tries to get what's her name?
He tried to get Issa to use it when she was dying.
And she ran from it.
She was like nope.
Was horrified of the concept of using it.
Can't do it. It's not going to work. You idiot. It's not going to work. You dumb. My guts are spilling out. It's not going to work. You stupid fool.
But I only asked because I do remember I had to reread parts of it because the way that real death works for the deathless versus for regular people, I had to go over it again because it wasn't entirely always clear to me here.
Sure.
But
Yeah. So Cyrus decides to explore the garden area for loot, as one does.
Yeah. This is one of the only times he does that. I'm like, come on, man, are you an adventurer or not?
Or not.
You're gonna
Yeah,
find some loot,
what's the deal?
dude.
And he finds this little obelisk with like a little a keyhole in it that's in the shape of the Infinity Blade. And he's like, "Oh, I saw these at the God King's castle."
Mm-hmm.
And it means that the Infinity Blade's the key. And he's like, "I wonder what happens if I stick the Infinity Blade in it." So he sticks the Infinity Blade in it, and the thing closes and goes into the ground, taking the Infinity Blade with it.
Yeah.
And he starts trying to use the teleport ring. And the God King steps out from the shadows like, yeah, that's not going to work, buddy.
It's totally his Spaceballs, like, I can't believe you fell for that, man. Like, at the moment.
The God
What
King
is
as played by Rick Moranis.
Exactly. It's totally that moment. And he deserves it. Because, for God's sake, that is some stupid shit.
And he's like, no, I'll give it back to you. Whoop, no.
That's exactly it. Like, next time we're going to put an obelisk up there, and it's going to be shaped just like your penis and balls. Yeah. Yeah, that goes. He didn't, yeah, this guy was trained since birth to be a killer, not a thinker.
Not a thinker. And then the God King's like, he's like, Cyrus is like, oh, you sent that golem to spy on me. And the God King's like, I don't know who sent that golem, but I didn't need anyone to spy on you because the dumb ring that you're wearing transmits everything, every dumb thing you say back to me.
Yeah. And you're just
God King's like, I've known where you are the entire time.
This was the part in the book that I really thought to myself, I was like, am I pulling for the wrong guy? Like, Cyrus is a fucking idiot. Like, everyone's, the God King is smarter than everyone. Like, you're just, oh yeah, you lose. That's what happens next.
He's like, I love a good competent villain where the God King's
totally.
like, the God King's like, you are so like stupid.
Right.
I had you at every single turn. This is all me. You had no agency in this.
I was always in control, you fucking idiot. Yeah. Yeah. It's the end of 7, except instead of, someone's head in a box, he's got the sword underground. You lose.
John Doe has the upper hand.
Yes, God King has the upper hand.
What's in the box? So for you kids at home, 7.
Oh, God. David Fincher used to be a director.
You see, David Fincher used to make things. And
yeah. My God.
Did you ever watch Mindhunter?
I watched the first couple of seasons. I liked it, but not enough to be really bummed out when it got canceled and everything.
Well, that's the thing is it's not canceled.
Netflix, it's just kind of perpetually on hold right now.
It's on hold. It's basically on hold until David Fincher feels like making more.
Cool. Real cool of you, David Fincher. Awesome. Cool. What a generous god our David Fincher is. The fuck?
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do respect that on a certain level. It's like, I'm not a fucking monkey, but at the same time, come on, man. You committed to a TV show. Make the fucking show. Or just give it to somebody else.
Let somebody else play with... Yeah, let them ruin it. You don't have to be the one ruining it.
You are going to ruin it eventually. We all know that. But just let someone else ruin it.
Know that.
Yeah. So... Mindhunter, the Snyder Cut.
The Snyder... Presented in 4x3 to respect the artist's vision.
I hate entertainment. Our entertainment is so stupid these days. Oh my god. It says
Let's
the co-host of a video game novelization podcast.
what do you? Yeah. Why do you think we have a show?
I don't know. I just like biting the hand that feeds me. What can I say?
Constantly, you know. Let's just take a little nibble of that hand.
A little nibble every now and then. Okay, so
Chapter 8. So basically, the God King starts calling Cyrus a different name, Osir, and is about to kill him with the Infinity Blade. And wouldn't you know it, Issa shows up and looks like, oh, she's going to save him, right? She's going to shoot the God King in the back. Instead, Issa shoots Cyrus in the fucking head.
Just right between the eyes.
With a bolt right between the eyes. Just kills him dead. And chapter 8 begins with the God King being like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The fuck was that?
And he's like, all right, all right, go after her, get some guys together and burn this body.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. And he God King leaves with the Infinity Blade. And and then Cyrus wakes up in the rebirth recuperation chambers. And this is kind of where things begin to unravel pretty fast for like our knowledge of who Cyrus is. So basically, Issa knew that Cyrus was a deathless. Like, she put it together really early on and was being really coy about it. That's why he could use the rings, and she was like, you idiot, I can't use the ring. And it's not that he is descended from deathless. He is a deathless, one of the original deathless, by the name of Osir. And he begins to have all of these memories start flooding back. And the dark thoughts that he's been having, they weren't from the Infinity Blade. Those were the thoughts of his real self.
Yeah.
Breaking through the illusion of who he thought he was.
Yeah. Every time he started to think like, she's laughing at you, kill her, or like they're mocking you, destroy them, it was not the corrupting influence of the Infinity Blade. It was him. It was the actual him trying to come through. He was not a good dude at most points in his life.
Yeah, Osir was not only a deathless, but one of the worst.
Yeah.
So Issa had gathered his remains. Basically, it was just like a burnt, crispy body, and brought him into the recuperation chamber. And it's been weeks. Weeks have passed, and Issa's just been kind of hanging out there. But Cyrus is like, all right, let's continue our adventure. And Issa's like, oh, I don't think I do. I'm going to take my leave because you are one of those people that does crazy shit, the deathless.
Right. Yeah.
Just like kill a town because you're bored type of shit. So I'm going to go, and Issa leaves.
Right. Yeah, Issa's out. She does the most level-headed thing of anyone in this book and says, no, thank you. Moving on. Yeah.
So I'm out of here. Peace. Then Tell comes back and starts explaining a little bit more about how it works. How Osir wanted to get the Infinity Blade from the God King. I forget the God King's real name. They mentioned it a few times. And he would fight the God King, and then Tell would gather basically his soul and bring it back to the town, and he would hypnotize some woman who had just given birth or something like that, and put the soul into a baby's body and make the woman think that she was the mother of this baby or something. It was something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, just find a new mom every time he dies, and have someone raise him. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so his memories will be wiped in between each life. So the only thing he really remembers is being Cyrus, like this 20 years, and some cracks of who Osser is, like his actual memories.
Yeah.
And every time, and Tell says, every time you resurrect from this point forward, you're going to risk bringing back more and more of Osser's memories. Like that part of your personality is going to take more and more control. The real you, quote unquote. The walls become thinner.
Yeah.
So and that's pretty much it. That's like,
yeah.
That's the end. That's where the book ends.
Yeah. It's just this realization of what he is now, and yeah, like
it's pretty good for part one of a like. I don't know. Does the other novella pick up after this, or is it? I
have to assume it does. It had better. It had goddamn better. That's all I can say. Because this is like, there's a cliffhanger, and then there's like this where it's like, Jesus Christ, guy, like it's a weird choice.
It's more than a cliffhanger. It's like an entire world hanger.
Right, world hanger. You heard it here first, folks.
World hanger.
Not
just one cliff. All the cliffs and the entire planet. That's what we're hanging off of right now.
Right,
at the
exactly.
End changes the entire perception of the character and the world that's in. I had a lot of fun with this. It packed more into a short novella than some of the books we've read packed into 3 times the length.
Without question. I feel the same way. I think it was just expertly written, very creative. It went in directions you didn't expect, the light and dark, the background, the humor. I will say one thing, though. It's kind of funny because we've talked many times on this show about when the author is allowed to just play and that kind of thing, and that's when you really get a story that kind of shines, that's different from the game, that you can really sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
With a game like Infinity Blade, there's so little there that this, for all intents and purposes, did not need to be based on a game.
Sure.
The fact that it is based on a game, it's almost like you could have had this written and then tweaked a few things to make it tied in with the game, and it would have serviced perfectly well. So, right. I mean, I love it, but I'm not going to give too many bonus points on adaptation, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I loved it, but
yeah. No, I agree. And I just looked it up, and the other one, Redemption, takes place between Infinity Blade 2 and 3. So whatever plot lines are left hanging, I assume, are answered by Fruit Ninja Knight's Quest number 2.
Right. Exactly. Now that's true. I never played Infinity Blade 2, so maybe this actually is very elegantly tied into the second one in a way.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So there might be something.
I think that's the thing, is Infinity Blade 2, for the most part, is lost media now. I mean, you can't, there's no real way. There are some, like, sail the high seas, mateys, ways to get it.
That's a weird sound you made there, Kevin. I don't know what that could possibly symbolize.
Yar.
Yeah.
So there's some ways to get it like that, but otherwise, I think it's supposed to tie in, dovetail into whatever's happening in Infinity Blade 2.
Right.
And it's really unfortunate that that's a piece of lost media now, because for as much as I like it, and I guess that's the thing with tie-in novelization is it's not always going to stand on its own, you know? And this clearly doesn't necessarily stand on its own. It's part of a bridge story. It's just taking you from the first game to the second game, but god damn, it takes you to the first game in the second game in a way that, I'll say it, Infinity Blade probably never really deserved.
No, probably not.
I mean, Infinity Blade was really cool, and the cat's pajamas, but in terms of what it was, it's pretty extra for.
They really. It was a fun game. It was an amazing demonstration of what games can be on a mobile phone and stuff like that. It was, in its own way, it really was an extraordinary piece of tech. But fuck, they didn't have to come this hard with the storyline.
Yeah. I think also it demonstrates why Brandon Sanderson has become basically the fucking guy.
Right.
Over the last decade and a half, has become, in terms of your fantasy fiction writers, Brandon Sanderson is the guy,
Oh yeah, he's the dude par excellence. There's just there's no getting around it. He is probably the biggest modern fantasy writer alive right now. So makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, we've reached out to his people to see if we can get him on the show. I mean, we shoot our shots. We're not afraid of asking people to come on the show and talk to them.
We try, goddammit. We
tried. And so that's kind of just in process right now.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. As of right now, I'm saying it seems unlikely, but we're trying.
Yeah. I'm an optimist, man, and even I'm not sure this is happening. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Reach out to Brandon Sanderson's people if you want to see him on our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Flood. Actually, don't do that. Don't tell them we sent you, though.
Yeah, that might hurt.
Act like you don't know us, and just say randomly you want him to be on the show.
Right. Just casually mention.
Mention it. So that's Infinity Blade Awakening. We'll probably get around to Infinity Blade Redemption at some point.
Absolutely.
And I would love to figure out a way to fly the black flag and roam the high seas and play Infinity Blade.
Man, so would I. That is it. I do remember it being a really excellent game for your mobile. It really was a fun damn game. So fingers crossed that's something we could find in the near future on the high seas.
Our flag needs emulation. Speaking of emulation, Phil, what are you playing?
Oh, I am not actually between a little touch of the Rona and my computer being. I am going on a what is it? Is it Theseus's ship?
Yeah, Ship of Theseus. Yeah,
the Ship of Theseus journey right now, where piece by piece, my computer is not the one I started with. So, and between that and frankly, even if I had all the pieces I needed, I've been laid up in bed for almost a week. But I've been doing a lot of reading, if that counts.
Oh, yeah. So, hold on.
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I like it. No, I mean, this is a literary podcast. We can talk about reading every now and then. From time to time.
From time to time. You mean it's not 90% of what we do already?
Right. What are the books that I'm reading that aren't for this show?
What are the PixelLit books that are on your list right now.
Well, I don't remember if I told you that I fully finished House of Leaves.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That one, I will say I get why it is such a. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, House of Leaves is this really dense, big book that came out in the mid 2000s, and it's kind of a horror story about this guy who lives in a home where this that has a maze inside of it that just pops up one day, and it goes on forever, and the house shifts and collapses in on itself. And as you're reading about that, you're getting footnotes from this other guy who's giving you insights mostly into his own life, let's say, and then you're getting footnotes on that guy, and you end up reading the book in this very strange order. You go back and forth with footnotes and appendices, and basically reading the book in and of itself is like a maze and a labyrinth. And it's something that horror geeks and lit geeks talk about all the time because it's a very unique book. And so having read it, it took me like a month and a half to fully read. And I'm a pretty quick reader, and it took forever. And it's one of those things that I totally see why everyone talks about it as much as they do. It's a fascinating idea. I'm done with it. I'm fine with being done with it. I've heard from a lot of people where they were like, oh, this actually might be the kind of book that you end up coming back to over and over and over again, because some people get really obsessed with it and really read between the lines and all that stuff. I don't think I'm going to be one of those people. I'm glad I read the book. I'm grateful for it existing. I gave it a solid 3.5 stars out of 5.
There you go.
It didn't fuck my life up in that sense. And then after that, I've just been reading like novellas. Like I've been devouring like quick books. Tenebris Press is this indie horror press that they've only existed for like a couple of years, I think. And they released 2 novellas this year, and I read both of them. And one of them's called Lure. It just came out. It's a really fantastic folk horror, body horror mermaid story. It was really spooky and really good, and about 100 pages long. And it's a real nice, quick read. And then I read One Hand to Hold, One Hand to Carve. Which is, first off, just a great goddamn title. And it is this, and it's also about 100 pages long, and it's this body horror satire in a way, which it's about this body that's been bisected, split down the middle, and the body wakes up in a morgue, and both sides are 2 different people, basically. There's left and there's right. And it's like they're twins. And they escape the morgue, and slowly another side of them grows in, and it's about their relationship. And it's really strange and horrific and kind of really sad and beautiful at the same time. It's such a strange book, and it's about codependency and relationships and why we love the people we love and family, and also about 2 corpses that come to life. And like, it's weird. It's a weird, and I loved it. I loved them both.
Awesome.
I'm really getting into the idea of finding these cool, small indie presses and like supporting them and reading their work.
So Tenebris
Press. They've got another book coming out soon. They've got a couple of other books that are already out that I'm definitely going to pick up. Like I am smitten with these guys. I think they're outstanding. They're definitely worth a look. So awesome. That's where I've been reading. What are you playing / reading, Kevin?
What am I playing? I have not read anything other than Infinity Blade. Well,
fair enough.
We've been reading it. But what have I been playing? I've been playing Weird West.
Oh yeah, you were talking about this. Tell us about Weird West.
Weird West is an immersive sim. Basically, the vibe you get from it is it's like if Fallout 1 and 2 were real-time combat instead of turn-based. But the sounds and the towns and all that stuff, it gives you very, very Fallout vibes. But yeah, Weird West is it's set in like a fictional version of the West. There's a fictional religion. There's like so much. There's so much lore and backstory to the game. Everything is original to the game. There's no. It's not. There's no Christianity. There's like some other like religions that they use.
Is it
as a
is it like the United States, or is it just like a fictionalized?
There's no reference to the United States. You're just out in the West.
Right.
And it's basically an old West, and that's it's actually the map is actually procedural. So every time when you start the game, it changes where the town's locations are, and the names of some of the towns, and all of the characters, all of the non key characters, they'll have different names and different portraits. And models and all that stuff if you restart your game. So from person to person, you're going to have a different experience than I have. I mean, it is a linear story. That's the thing. That's the interesting thing about it. It's a linear story that's told across 5 journeys. So you play as 5 different characters, but you play them in order. The first one is this bounty hunter, and the game starts, it's not a spoiler, the game basically starts with her waking up from this dream where a character is tied to a chair and getting branded, and she wakes up with the brand on her neck. But outside, when she's waking up, her husband is being kidnapped and her son is shot dead. So you play this woman who was a bounty hunter who needs to pick up her iron again and go out into the weird West and try to find her kidnapped husband. And
cool.
It gets real. There's a lot of neat, weird stuff. There's werewolves and pigmen, and it's neat. I like it.
That's sick.
And everything you do has an effect on the world around you. That's like the immersive sim part of it. So if you, so I ended up restarting my playthrough just because I realized there was a bunch of stuff that I hadn't really paid attention to and I kind of missed, and I wanted to really lean into it. But I played through the first journey with the bounty hunter, and at the end of the first journey, I left some guy alive, a particular villain. I never really had a confrontation with him. I left him alive. So when I started the second journey, he was part of the plot in the second journey. Like he kept being mentioned, and the gang that he ran would keep popping up in the news as having like raided another town. And I was like, so wait a minute. If I had killed him in the first journey, he would not be a part of the plot in the second journey, and there would be no mentions of this gang still being out there, because the gang is you can get like stopped on the ride from one town to another. The gang might stop you occasionally and try to kill you. So there's also a vendetta system. Yeah, there's also this vendetta system where if you get into a confrontation with a gang and you like kill a few of them, but one of them escapes, the one that escapes might now have a vendetta against you, and you can be anywhere. You could just be like on another mission, and suddenly it'll pop up and it will say vendetta, and this person will show up with their own like posse now to try to kill you.
Holy shit.
It's really neat.
That is so cool.
There's so much neat thought into the game. The game, like the controls are a little fiddly to get used to at the beginning, and it was one of those games that was I couldn't really gel with it on a controller. It was like once I switched over to mouse and keyboard, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good.
Yeah.
But Weird West, I highly recommend it.
When did it come out?
It came out, I want to say, in the like March, April time frame.
Okay, but this
maybe
year.
This year, I think.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I think sold on it. You texted me and said that you weren't sure if it would be something I would like, but that I'm gonna have to give that a try. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. And something that just caught my eye. So we're recording this in early August, and now that I'm currently on a Western game kick, Hard West 2 just came out today.
Well, there you go.
Hard West 2, the first Hard West, if in case you're unfamiliar, is it's basically cowboys and as XCOM. Like,
yeah,
it's an XCOM game, but with in the Old West.
I remember when you played the first one and you were just like, you were really smitten with it. You liked that one a lot.
Yeah. So Hard West 2 is out. Weird, like, just get all the West game. If it has West in the title, it's probably good.
I love it.
And Vampire Survivors updated today.
Is it the final update?
No, it's not.
What are you talking about?
It's Blue Balls. It's version 0.10.0. And I was like, I thought you had to go to 1 after 0.9. And apparently you don't.
It's not. We're just going to be in this loop forever. They're going to be 500,000 achievements.
Yeah, this update added 2 achievements.
What am I complaining about? I'm gonna fucking love this game forever.
You're gonna fire. That's the first thing you're gonna play when you fire your ship of Theseus.
Pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna this brand new video card, new RAM, new everything, and I'm gonna fire up a
new
game
processor,
that's like
new motherboard,
new processor. Oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna.
The only thing that's staying the same is the case.
The case and the memory itself, like.
And the hard drive, yeah.
The hard drive, yeah, that's it. That's it. Everything else is getting replaced. New fans, new everything. This thing is I got pieces all around me. It's a mess. So it'll be good. It'll be good.
So that'll do it for tonight's episode. If you can, give us a hand and like us, follow us on the Twitters and the Instagrams at PixelLit Pod. Like our stuff, like our tweets, like our posts. It really helps us when you do that, emotionally, morally.
It means the world to us. We love you people, and we do.
Tweeting about us in a positive light is the moral thing to do. Share an episode with your friends. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify and Good Pods or wherever the heck you're listening. If they have a rating system, please hit that 5-star button. We're on YouTube. If you want to see our beautiful faces, give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. And if you want to read the transcripts for the episodes, we have auto transcripts up on pixelitpod.com. Where you can also find links to our Discord and our Steam page. That'll do it for tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good night, everybody.
Bye.